With the trailer for Fantastic Four First Steps now out, a number of keyboard warriors have descended onto social media to tell everybody who's saying that, the female Silver Surfer is ridiculous and absolutely nonsensical. And we all know the reason that they're doing it. That, oh no, the female Silver Surfer is comic book accurate and it's canon and you all don't know what you're talking about. All you need to stop. All you just want to hate on everything and all this nonsense, because all these people do is just go look up something on Wiki, read part of an article and decide that suddenly they're experts in everything. However, those of us who actually love comics, who have been reading them for years, who are true and appreciative of the art and cannot stand to see it completely destroyed, because we know once they throw a female Silver Surfer into the MCU, it's not going to be long before we see one showing up in comics and here, there, and every friggin' where, because that's what it does. Oh, well, apparently they've decided to make themselves known once again, and Bounding into Comics has put together a neat little article that I want to touch on that actually goes to really set it out there that, no, the female Silver Surfer is not comic book accurate or canon or any of that nonsense, so you could stop trying to pretend that. A lot of these complaints people are making are some of the stuff I have actually been told by people when I point it out. So let's dive into this. Here's the article. Let's stop acting like Fantastic Four First Steps female Silver Surfer has any real comic book history. Yeah, I'm sorry, but this and the other clip that we got of her does not look good. It doesn't. This is a serious downgrade. Honestly, serious downgrade. You cannot pretend that attempting to do this wasn't done for a specific reason, because we all know what the MCU is doing lately, what they continue to do, and this is why they continue to lose money and fans at everything. In seeking to either defend their favorite media franchise, yes, the keyboard warriors talking about here, keep their own hopes for the film alive, or even just own the chuds, a large swath of Marvel Cinematic Universe fans have recently taken to citing the supposed comic book history of the female Silver Surfer Shalabal as proof that Fantastic Four First Steps is finally delivering the source material accuracy many critics have long demanded. Now, the thing about it is that whenever it is you see we point out the nonsense that the MCU is doing, people want to turn around and say, you always want to make us that thing, wait until the movie comes out, and then you will see it all that. Yeah, when people say wait until the movie comes out, you will see. We said that the Marvels were shaping up to be absolute nonsense because of the information that we were getting. It's the lowest performing MCU movie ever. We said that good old Falcon Cap and his movie was a bunch of nonsense. That they even hit 500 million and it's just dead at the box office now. Done. Absolutely done. We talked about this, and there are other examples. I mean, I could go through them, but basically, it all went downhill after Endgame. So it's not to say like we're out there just trying to be dismissive of everything. The information that we're getting, the things that we're seeing, we're calling it out. Because like I say, and this is just me, I can't speak for you, but like I say that, I do this for the small guy. You understand me? Who wants good entertainment, who wants to be in, that's it. I'm not going to cater to these companies and bow down and pretend everything is honky-dory when it's not. When I see you doing nonsense, I'm going to say you're doing nonsense, because we as fans deserve to be heard. And it's clear that these people are not listening to us, so why shouldn't we report as they crash and burn? Simple as that. Right, but here's the thing, not only is this assertion wildly disingenuous, but it's also 100% untrue. Yes, the whole thing that, female Silver Surfer is coming back is 100% untrue. They show you here where Galactus creates Silver Surfer, Norrin Rad becomes the Silver Surfer. It's interesting, right? For the best example of this phenomenon, look no further than the myriad of such comments and retweets made in response to the film's first official trailer, wherein Wolfman star Julia Garner made her debut appearance as the live-action Herald of Galactus, and good lord, did it look terrible. So let me go through some of what these people have to say here in regards to it. First one here, Scion Storm. Being that this is in the past, I bet the female surfer dies somehow and the male one takes over. Because at one point in the comics, they had two surfers simultaneously called the Twin Heralds. A lot of comic book casuals don't know that though. So people are jumping the gun again, crying whoop when it's actually a part of the canon. Now, first of all, this isn't taking place in the past, it's taking place in an alternate universe. And I know people are going to say, well, oh, it's an alternate universe. No, it's an alternate universe, right? But we know why the Silver Surfer was gender swapped. We know. We know why the Silver Surfer was gender swapped. We know. It's an MCU thing. We know that. And they're going to say, but at one point it had two heralds called Twin Heralds. I think that took place in an alternate universe. I think it was Earth X. And Shalabal was only a herald for I think like one page or something, or just a few panels or a bit, and that was it. And then she died. It's not even canon. It's like a what if book from that throwaway that nobody even really takes account of anymore. That's what it was. Next one here, Jeremy says, reactionary rage bait YouTubers are dusting off their MCU thumbnail templates because they've never read a comic and don't know who Shalabal is. Reactionary rage bait YouTubers. I wonder if he's talking about anyone I know. Are dusting off their MCU thumbnails because that's what it is. We all know that's what it is. You know that's what it is. They went hard in trying to turn the MCU into the MCU. They figured they could get away with it. And when it didn't, and it crashed and burned, and then they looked like idiots, this was the result. And then they want to go on and say, because they've never read a comic book and don't know who Shalabal is. I know who Shalabal is. I've read Silver Surfer comic books. I know who Shalabal is. Shalabal is the lover of Norrin Rad, who is the Silver Surfer. But just because Shalabal became the Silver Surfer alongside Norrin Rad in an alternate one-off book so many years ago, and it was like she wasn't even Silver Surfer for long, but like probably like I say, must say about a page, doesn't make that canon to the character at all, because by Marvel's own definition, when they have actually come out and say, senior editor to Marvel going to say that, alternate versions of Spider-Man where he's married to Mary Jane, I think, aren't canon to the main Spider-Man line. That's what they've said. So the same thing applies here. But no, you all just want to shill for your MCU and then act like, overall just a bunch of rage baiters when all we're doing is telling the truth. They continue on here. And next one, Tony Stark. I am finally sold. And for people who are complaining about the female Silver Surfer, please read this. She's been around for a while. This isn't some woke shit by Marvel. You see, this is the thing. When I see people say that, people who do this, read this, it's been around for a while. It reminds me of a video that I did, I think about, I think last year or year before something. So I was talking about, and in it I was talking about how, Marvel turning Iceman gay is total nonsense. Jean basically brainwashed Bobby Drake and turned him gay, even though there's nothing in his history that ever pointed to that. It was ever done, and it was the only reason it was done was to turn him into the gay X-Men, and that pretty much destroyed the character. Somebody then contacted me and said, oh no, he was always like that. I know, and sent me this link saying, oh, watch this, it explains everything. And it was a link to a video from another comic book YouTuber who, I can say does tend to shill for these companies, because I've seen the only person does, and that's what they do. And nothing in the video did anything other than just say, Gene did this to him, that happened then, and they're talking about representation, what kind of nonsense, but never stated that the character was any other way or anything, or give any kind of evidence at all for it. And when I did then respond to the person and say, well, this is not saying anything, it's just something here, you haven't proved anything. Person never responded, and that was it. So trying to say, you know what, oh, she's been around for a while, look at this, look at this. No, the character has not been around for a while. She had a one-off some, it was like about 30 years ago, 20 years ago, in some one comic that they did, which was only around for like maybe 2 or 3 panels. That's it. Come on. Another one here. To the morons in the comments, pick up a damn comic and actually read it. Then you'd know about Shala and how she was the other Silver Surfer, you idiots. No, she was, like I've explained, one off in a comic so many years ago, only Silver Surfer for like 1 page before bam. And this looks horrible. So before, this looks horrible. And it's not just the fans on social media, but also those who write for the entertainment media, if you could call it that anymore, with Collider, Game Rant, and CBR. CBR, the king of the shields, all recently having run stories attempting to claim that Shala Bal's time with the Power Cosmet is actually well-established canon. Because you see, these people need access. That's what they need. They will write any crap trying to make something seem like it's like it's the gospel truth, so they could keep getting their tote bags and access, all that kind of things. That's what they do. That is it. Yet, despite all the confidence with which this argument is regularly made, it is very obvious that those who make it have either never picked up a comic in their life, yep, or only learned about the whole of her history and that of the main Silver Surfer, her lover Norrin Rad, from various wiki entries. That is it. That is it. You can tell most of the it, because whenever I speak to somebody, I tell them this is so, they will suddenly start rambling out all this information. I'm like, yeah, you are literally getting that from our website. I can see you getting that from our website. And whenever you confront them about it, they either do one or three things. Talk about how you're only lying and making up stuff, suddenly disappear from the comments, or literally try to turn it around on you. That's it. You can tell these people are not fans of anything. They just need to jump in and always be in something to show that, okay, well, I side in with this, even though it makes me look absolutely ridiculous. Factually, these fans are correct in their assertions, as Shala Bal has been depicted as the Silver Surfer in a comic book long before she was chosen for Fantastic Four. Yes, she was. Nobody's denying that she was. But, however, what they failed to mention, likely as a result of having only learned of her existence as a trivia fact exactly, is that not only is the twin herald from another universe, but also that the totality of her time in the role amongst the 7 panels, yep, and a feature appearance on an Alex Ross cover across 2 issues of a relatively obscure 1997 miniseries, 3 of which consist of her and Norrin appearing as bystanders to larger events, and eventually ends with her death at the hand of a Celestial. So like I said, only there for like 7 panels. Took place in an alternate universe. I think I believe it was Earth X. That was it. But no, they're out there shouting to you that, oh, she's always been there. No, it's not. Because like I said, by Marvel's own admission, when these things take place in alternate universe, whatever, it has nothing to do with the main canon. But you want to act like, Shala Bal, Dean, being the Silver Surfer for literally 7 panels in a comic from 1997 somehow means that, her being there now is comic accurate and canon. Hell no. The Shalabal Silver Surfer appears in all of 7 panels and a single cover across 2 issues of a nearly 30-year-old alternate universe miniseries before ultimately being killed. Right. Likewise, the other female Silver Surfer pointed to by these disingenuous defenders, Juno, comes from an alternate universe and has only ever appeared in the 4 issues that make up the 2010 Hercules Twilight of a God Volume 1 miniseries. Yeah, that was there. This is it here. This is the thing here. This is Shalabal there, as the other Silver Surfer, and Norrin is there, and then she ends up thing and dies, and that was it. That was the whole thing. Yeah, Earth X, right. Now, this may be hard for younger readers to conceptualize, especially given how little has been done with him in recent years. But once upon a time, the Silver Surfer was considered one of Marvel's most popular characters. Yes, he was. First flying onto the comic book scene in 1966, the Fantastic Four, Volume 1, number 48, the hero's moral philosophizing was a perfect fit for the era's anti-authoritarian question everything attitude, while his specific Jack Kirby created alien aesthetics appeal to America's growing sci-fi interest. Yeah, they go on to say about how, that it was really popular. They also had a rock opera and all of that. Marvel had the prime for everything was a solo video game and its own TV animated series. Yeah, all of this was really interesting. This is what happened with the Silver Surfer. As such, rather than complaints against the surfer's gender swapping being rooted in any sort of misogyny by ignorance or otherwise, most of them, admittedly not all, at some are unfortunately rooted in wanton hatred, are instead simply born from audiences being disappointed that they will not be seeing the version of a character they know best. Yeah. In other words, imagine if DC announced a new Batman movie featuring Nightwing, but rather than Dick Grayson, the person behind the mask would instead be Cheyenne Fremont, a woman who donned the identity for a total of 2 issues and only ever appeared in 5 more in 2006. If you were a huge Nightwing fan, you'd at the very least be annoyed that the character you know and love wasn't going to be the one you saw on the silver screen. And even more so if a bunch of people pointed to Fremont's wiki page and told you to get over it, you whiny bigot. This is the woman here that it's talking about. You understand me? And I actually talked about it, something similar to that, but in my video going over the trailer, but the one I used was Daredevil. And instead of Daredevil, you got literal Electra Nachios cosplaying as Daredevil. That's what it is. But let's be perfectly honest here, people. Like I've said before, I say again, we know why they have done this. We know why they have gender swap. And yes, it is a gender swap of the Silver Surfer. When you look at movies like Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer, the only reason I went to see that movie and the reason a lot of people went to see the movie was because of the Silver Surfer. The movie wasn't particularly good, if you understand. It wasn't particularly good at all, but I'm just saying, that's why people went to see the character is that popular. But no, you gender swap the Silver Surfer because you are trying to push an MCU agenda. And it keeps failing because people want to see their favorite stars. Do you think the MCU would have been as successful as it was if instead of the Avengers, we had gotten gender swap versions of all of them and they were on screen, you understand me, telling Thanos what a little toxic male he really is? No. We know the reason why they did this and we know why fans are not happy about it. That is a fact. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. If you have a different opinion, I'd love to hear it. If you're not using it, hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ring the notification bell to be notified every time I upload a new video. And I shall see you all next time. Take care.